Alright guys, I'm happy to report this might have truly been the shakeout before the breakout here on Bitcoin. We got some really good data coming in today and Bitcoin is holding our support very nicely. Do we still need to be a little bit cautious in the markets? Absolutely, but so far so good. We have reclaimed the range that we needed to, and the probabilities are now in favor of us actually going for all-time highs once again, cleaning out all of that liquidity, and potentially, my base case doesn't even play out, and we could go to 6 figures plus on Bitcoin as everyone is hoping for. Now real quickly, before I get started, there's 2 new event links for some of my exchange partners down in the description below. If you can KYC, BingX is running a pretty cool limited time event exclusive to anyone on this channel that has signed up with my referral link. And then also my new exchange partner, Weeks, is also running an event exclusive to this channel, and you do not need to KYC for that exchange. So definitely go ahead and check out those links in the description down below if you are at all interested. But let's go ahead and jump into what I want to talk about today. Starting off with some of the data that might have pumped up the price here on Bitcoin that is relieving market participants, and that is going to be the unemployment claims of today. Came in much better than expected. I had been anticipating this. I had said, hey, that spike from our unemployment rate on August 2nd was probably not going to maintain. We were probably going to see a reversal back to the mean, a correction in the unemployment rate, and we should see that go down at least for the next print on the data. And what we're seeing here with our unemployment claims that should be forecasting that next rate is extremely good. We see it coming in at 233,000 jobs versus the 241 that they had forecasted versus the previous of 250,000. You can see our previous numbers here from August 1st when the market got that big scare came in over expectation. This was not looking good, but I had assumed it was a spike out of the mean, and we are seeing that reversal back down. 233 is an extremely good number to see, and I do expect with this data the unemployment rate should reverse down. Is it going to last forever? Does this mean that the recession is avoided? No, not necessarily. I still think the trend of unemployment going up is going to continue, but a momentary correction in here before we really have to worry about this later on. So I still do expect we got to worry long term, right? Whenever the Fed does cut rates, maybe into election season later on this year, I still do believe that's where the top of the bull run is going to come in. But until then, my base case is certainly intact and is looking very probable right now that we have this massive euphoria stage getting us all the way up into all-time highs, where this could potentially be where the actual top does come in, and this could be where everyone gets wrong-footed, and then we enter the bear market after that. And then there's always the scenario this is just a truly bullish consolidation in here. This could be somewhat of Wyckoff accumulation. I will say that this structure is not really Wyckoff at all anymore. It's more of just a descending channel. So is it going to play out as distribution or accumulation? Who knows? But certainly these levels inside the channel are being respected very nicely, and they aren't just at arbitrary levels. These lines actually do come in at pretty key points, especially this mid-channel trend. So this is going to be our next very important level to be watching out for. In the worst case scenario, we had talked about this CME gap created from our futures over here on Bitcoin, right within this previous golden pocket, as well as 4-month value area low that we are tapping right now. So we're finding some resistance immediately on that level right now. If we are truly bearish, we probably would reject here. It would probably be a partial fill, but I would say with momentum right now, I do think we're going to get up into here. We're going to fulfill the CME gap. And then we have the question of, okay, this is our next point of resistance, right? If we get up in here, are we going to reject off this mid-channel trend, get back under support, and then fail? Or are we going to potentially reject mid-channel trend, come down and actually find support back within the golden pocket, back within this 4-month value area low? And I do expect the latter to play out, if not just absolutely sending to the upside, because I do think if that was truly a fake out before the breakout, there should be a lot of buying pressure from people FOMOing back into the markets. But certainly we don't have clear skies ahead of us just yet. This is the big box we got to be watching out for. We got a previous golden pocket, we got value areas, volume levels, we got mid-channel trends, so we got to be watching out. This is from 59.5 to 62.5. Now if we can get over this though, and we start backtesting any of this as support, then yes, your next target is absolutely going to be all-time highs. I don't think we're going to have to worry about this anymore because we have been continually talking about the liquidity sitting up at all-time highs. And let me go ahead and pull that up for you on CoinGlass, and you can see up here at the all-time highs, all of these lower highs just kept building liquidity up above us, and this is likely to get grabbed, especially after we had already grabbed the $50,000 level. This was a big chunk of liquidity that I had been kind of cautious of because as we started hunting down here, likely we're going to go grab that. I thought that might have changed our structure, right? You don't want to be making lower lows on the macro, but since that was another swing failure pattern, a deviation outside of the range, and now clearly getting back with inside the range, now that we are accepting this value area low at $56,150, this is the big level that we needed to go ahead and close above for me to be confidently bullish, and we have gone ahead and done that. Now that we are back within the range, it's game on. Let's go ahead and hunt this topside liquidity finally, and I do believe that is what is in fact going to happen here, assuming we can make it through the CME gap. And not only do we have this structure on Bitcoin, but over here on Total 3, we have a very, very similar descending channel going on here, and we are currently backtesting this mid-channel trend right now. So critical point for the altcoin market, can we actually get above this? And if we can get above this mid-channel trend and backtest this, I think it's a similar story, but there is a chance we would reject off the top side because we do have much more volume confluence here. The liquidity doesn't matter as much on Total 3 because that's going to differ coin to coin and everything's just going to follow Bitcoin. So we'll watch Total 3 here very cautiously. We still got some big resistance to get through at current price. Then up here, if we can escape out of this channel though and backtest this as support and head up here, I do think at that point, yes, you're looking at all-time highs on your altcoin market as well, and this is going to look very, very good for the altcoin season to have already started. And I do think, I talked about this in my last video, XRP was giving us those signs that altcoin season was about to begin. We had talked about over here on Trading Light. If I go over on Binance, you can see that when we had this big move up yesterday, it was open interest going up, not going down, indicating that positions were opening for this move, buying pressure, not just a short squeeze, which was a very good indication that this might not get retraced, that we might actually have a bullish continuation here on XRP, and it could be leading the altcoin market as a whole, which we have started to see today with a lot of big market cap coins going crazy that are on my watch list, such as Tau. We see Tau looking very, very good. This is probably my favorite pick in the AI space that is larger market cap. So structurally, we are seeing altcoins starting what could be the beginning of their parabolas. There's a chance this could be a retrace, right? So we got to watch out for that. We are under our retracement levels right now for a lot of these altcoins. So could this just be a retracement for many coins, especially? Yes, definitely could. But could this also be a massive bottoming structure where we then go ahead and launch on up to tens of billions of dollars of market cap plus, just like we did back in 2021? And I certainly see the case where we could see a big rally similar to 2021. And if we are going to see something similar to 2021, is Bitcoin just going to do this upthrust after distribution, this breakout, back test, fake out, and then enter into the bear market? Or could we potentially actually have a true breakout here and go on to multiple six figures, $200,000, $300,000 plus? And I do think both scenarios are very likely. I have my base case for a reason, but I'm not doubting with this fake out that we had in the markets, with this massive capitulation, this is something that does happen before you go on your big bull runs. So since we took out all of these poor lows within here and are now finding very nice support, and fractally on a cycle basis does look somewhat similar to 2021, or I guess 2020, I would say there's the chance that these 4-year cycle theorists are correct. And while I don't think Bitcoin necessarily acts on a 4-year cycle, I think it just correlates more with the stock market, and especially now more than ever with those ETFs, it's going to correlate as a risk on asset in the stock market. If we do see the stock market continue up throughout the next 300 days, I do think this is very likely to play out, where we have our descending channel after the bear market rally. We go ahead and have a massive fake out to the downside, right? This was COVID. And then we go ahead and escape this range, back test it, and go on for this massive run, this massive super cycle, you could say, into its final high later on in 2025. And I do think that is in the cards. but I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think the market is going to wrong foot the most amount of people. And even though I do think this unemployment data is going to come down a little bit, we still have this trend. And I do think we're going to go into a big recession or even depression sometime soon. We talked about this parabola on the S&P 500 and how these don't last forever. Do we have another year left in this thing? Easily could, but I would caution the next high on this could be your double topping structure, similar to what we talked about in a couple videos ago, why this looks very similar to 2007, 2008, and I do believe if we do fractal anything similar to that, we would see this double top kind of playing out, going on to when the Fed cuts in between election season, and that's where your final top does come in, and we have this structure where we do have one more burst of euphoria, everyone capitulates, all the bears capitulate back into the market, and that's where the real recession does begin. So that's still what I'm thinking. But what we see on the S&P is actually very nice. We had talked about this yesterday and how we needed this golden pocket to hold, just pulling a swing low, swing high. We were right within that critical level of support, and we found support there beautifully. You can see we're going up to make a new local high on the S&P 500. Structurally, this looks really good for a potential hunt to all-time highs once again. And with this, of course, we're seeing the Russell, which was another thing that was really concerning me yesterday, start to find its footing on this last line of support that we had talked about in yesterday's video as well. You can see this was our last kind of point of control to the downside. Very nice daily open on that and sending straight up now at the value area high. So let's see if we can get this value area high to flip back into support now and hunt back into the 2021 bull market range, which we had tried to claim last month and then failed miserably off the level with this recessionary fears. But with this new unemployment data, assuming the S&P goes for all-time highs, I would not be surprised to see risk on assets start to massively outperform and potentially even flip this all into support and go for price discovery on the Russell 2000, which Bitcoin has been correlating to more similarly than even the S&P 500. So assuming the Russell can break out here, we're definitely going to see Bitcoin and especially your altcoin market go absolutely parabolic because they're all correlated together. So let's see what happens here. Something I've been talking about that I was going to look for as confluences to know if Bitcoin was truly bullish or not in this move up is if it was just a short squeeze or if there was really positions opening. And what we see so far is good. You can see open interest is coming up with this move. So this is what we want to see. We want to see continuation from positions opening, short or long. I don't really care if they're shorting as prices moving up. That's great. We'll eventually squeeze them. If the longs are opening as we're going up, that means that there is a lot of buying pressure, which is good. What we just don't want to see is price to come up here and then this to be a short squeeze, and then as we reach the top, then longs start opening. We want longs throughout the entirety of the move. We don't want to see any short squeeze going on within here. So we'll be watching the order flow within here. Open interest and CVD is kind of your most important thing on the chart. It really shows you what is going on from positions in the market. And these are all the levels to watch out for on the way up. These could all be swing failure patterns, places we could reject from 61, 63.5, 65.5, 67.5. And then we got some single prints that we're battling with right now. These are inefficiencies in the chart from back here. This could also be a potential swing failure level. So we're currently at a point we could find resistance over here on TradingView. These are all of your volume levels to watch out for, as well as that CME gap. So these are all the levels to watch for. Of course, as we talked about at the beginning of the video, 59.5 to 62.5. This is huge. Can we actually fulfill the CME gap, find support within that level, and then once we escape that, I do think all-time highs is going to be much more likely. And I do think where price is currently sitting, the fact that we were able to get through this value area low, you would expect after getting through this that your next target is value area high, and value area high is sitting right next to your liquidity. So I do expect our next target for Bitcoin is all-time highs, and that still remains my base case. But if you do have any questions about anything I've talked about or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also below that is a VIP Discord specifically for leveraged trading. Click on it to learn more about it. Decide for yourself if you think it's worth the money. By the way, it's only $20 for the first month using code EAGLE. That is a limited time discount that I am running right now since I did just launch it last month. And then also below that are links to some of my favorite exchanges that I am partnered with, so go ahead and check out those links to earn yourself some cool rewards and benefits. They each offer their own perks, and some of them have limited time events going on right now exclusively to this channel. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.